Hey everybody, it's been a while, but the move is finally over. I'm in my new location. As you can see, there are yellow walls, and that is the case all the way around this room. And also, if you can tell, if you're good at white balance, there's a lot of yellow lights too. So we're working on that. But for now, this is the new space. I will go ahead and run you through what I've got here setup wise. Maybe do a little bit of a mini studio tour kind of thing. Most of this is mainly just from me being really excited about having everything in here, so I apologize for the impromptu-ness of this video, but regardless, I'm really excited and want to show you guys what I have going on, and I think that this could be a new step for both the channel and for my music production start, if you could say that, because I'm not really great at producing music, but this space gives me more of an opportunity to become better at that, on top of improving in a bunch of other ways as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move the tripod around like crazy and see what happens. This is the main studio space. This is the tripod just rotated 90 degrees from where it was before. So if that makes any sense spatially, well, good for you. But either way, same setup as before for now, just that 27-inch LG monitor there with the Mackie CR3s. Very basic monitors, and I'm starting to think that they might be a little bit small for this room at 18 feet by 13.5 feet. But we'll work that out in the future. They work pretty well for now, and they already sound much better in a room that's nowhere near as packed with furniture and whatnot. You can see the Stormtrooper, obviously, is my main PC. I've done a couple of videos on that if you want the specs and all that. But yeah, this is the corner where most of the production and video editing work will happen. And I've obviously spaced it out a little bit farther away from the wall. Reason being, I'm trying to abide by the 38% rule, which is something I believe a sound engineer came up with a while back, where basically if you are listening to your music 38% from the longest wall in the back, or the longest section of the room, 38% away from that wall, that then you get the most even frequency response from bass, mids, and highs. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's not quite there, it's close, but as you can tell, there's plenty of space around this desk, and it's a little bit crowded right now, and I would definitely like to expand that a little bit and add some more room, especially once I get monitor stands. I think that's one of the first things I'm planning on doing. Once those are in place, the monitors will come off the desk, and that'll leave me room to finally put a second monitor in there. So that's going to be the first, I think, order of improvement in this setup. But let me go to the more specific parts real quick, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna knee my way into this video, hey. So I'm down here with the guitars because I haven't really shown off all my guitars in detail in any of my videos, so I thought I would. You can obviously see I've got some boxes out there because like I said, I literally just got here about a week ago, and I've been expanding each room one by one in my spare time, so that's why it's taking so long to make something. But I will start with my first guitar. So you can see this. It's a Yamaha Eterna, which is basically a knockoff Stratocaster that is $100 and comes with a cheap little amp that I ended up throwing out actually before the move. So, but I've fitted it with a DiMarzio Deactivator X humbucker pickup. I think I did an install video on that however long ago, back when my videos were all shoddy. They're still shoddy now, but even more shoddy than today. So yeah, that guy, and a generic Strat tremolo arm. And as you can tell, the pick guard's pretty yellowed because I've used it for quite a long time. There's some gold Rust-Oleum back there when I thought Rust-Oleum was cool on guitars. And I believe this is a maple neck, rosewood fretboard, and basswood body, and a 5-way pickup selector switch, volume tone knob, and just generic tuners. One day I might want to put some locking tuners on this. Make it a crazy Frankenstein guitar like I've already done to it. But next we have the Ibanez RG4721 PB. Can't believe I remember that somehow. 7-string guitar. It was around $450, I think. Great little workhorse guitar. Probably the best guitar out of everything I have. Pretty nice. Rosewood fretboard again with the maple neck. I believe this body is a mix of, I forgot, maple top, I believe, and I forgot what body this is. If anyone knows by the appearance, you can let me know, but I used to know. But either way, really solid sounding guitar for what it is. Nothing special with the tuners or anything like that, but the string through along with the hardtail bridge here makes it really stable, stays in tune really well, so it's great for recording. And I have that. And if you're wondering, this guy I have tuned to drop D and standard, depending on what I'm doing. This guy's half step down in B flat standard, and this guy is the newest one I've grabbed. This is a Mitchell, I think it's MD 400. That's right, it's back here. It's printed back here. Guitar Center's house brand. I was kind of skeptical actually going into buying this guitar, but after using it for a while, honestly, it's not quite that bad. The only thing I would plan on changing would probably be the pickups, but other than that, it's great. It's got a lot of features for what I paid for. Coil tapping down here. So if you want to get this to sound like a single coil, you can totally do that. Volume and tone knob here. Or is that right? No. These are separate volume knobs for each of the two pickups. And this also acts as a tone knob down here. 3-way pickup selector switch. I just forgot what this is called. Gibson bridge. It has a name. I forgot already what it was. But string through body, single piece. No bolt-on, which is great for sustain. I've definitely noticed that. Nice little cutouts. These could probably look nicer, but they definitely do their job and allow you to access the higher frets. You get your rosewood fretboard, even with some special inlay work over here. You can see that all the way across the body of the guitar. I'd be more detailed right now, but that's not the point. And then this nice little finish on the top as well. Yeah, really solid guitar. You get the Grover locking tuners on that as well, if I'm even getting that in frame. But those are my 3 main electrics. Then I've just got here in its case right now, the only bass I currently have. It's a Squier P bass. It's great for normal bass stuff. But for now, eventually I want to get more elaborate with that. So I'm guessing I'm looking at picking up something like an Ibanez Sound Gear or something like that. Probably a 5-string, but when I do, we'll hopefully make a video on that. But let me move on to the audio equipment I've got. All right, let's see if my phone dies. It's looking like it's gonna die soon, but either way. PreSonus audio box USB. That's where the guitars get plugged into, and any other mics I'm using. It's got some pretty good mic pre's and instrument pre's in there. I honestly don't even remember what they are, but they do the job. It's the first audio interface I ever bought, so it's budget, but it works. And especially since I have a pretty heavy reliance currently on digital plugins, this is definitely good enough for me, unless I'm doing something like recording drums, which I have actually never done. So if I were to do something like that in the future, I'm definitely going to expand it. I have plans to expand it, but for what I'm using it for now and the kind of music I'm currently writing, it works. I want to get more expansive, but dreams can wait sometimes. But right next to it, if I can even move this out of the way, you can see these guys, the Mackie CR3s. Again, the budget option. Basically, I grabbed those because I didn't want to use my computer speakers anymore. And these have been pretty great. Obviously, they're great compared to any standard desktop speaker, but nonetheless, the tweeters and I think they're technically 3-inch main guys down there, they sound great, and actually they pump plenty of volume for the room I was working in at the time. As you can see, I have the isolation pads down there. I do want to put these on stands to make them more even with my head so that I can then get better reception, but nothing too special about these. They just work. I'd like to get ones that are better, but again, the more time you spend with a monitor, the better you technically get at mixing. So that's what the hope would be for me, is even though I'd be working off of cheap monitors, if I get good with cheap monitors, I can get good with anything. So, and this is still in its box. I haven't unboxed it yet, but this is the Nectar Impact LX25 MIDI controller. It's, again, another basic product that I got to get into MIDI, which I've been using on some of my later tracks. If you hear Heptagon's Caper, it's got actually quite a few MIDI tracks. I'm, again, still new to all this stuff, but this is a great beginner option because you get the mod wheels. The keys themselves don't feel too bad. They're not, piano authentic, but they're also not super cheap feeling either. And then you get the drum pad up on the top right, and you can set that, and plenty of knobs to mess with as well. So there was a lot of benefits to this, especially for the price. Honestly, the last 3 parts I showed you, I think they were all $100 each. So if you're wanting to start on a budget, I'd say that all 3 of those are relatively great options if you have no clue what you're doing. But for now, that's really it for the home studio section of things. I would talk about plugins, but honestly, I'm not even there yet with even liking or knowing to like what I use. So this is in the back corner. So if you took the original video and turned it to the left around 45 degrees, this is in that back corner of the room. I've got the Roland TD1K E-drum set. Plan is to have this hooked up to Superior Drummer, or right now Easy Drummer 2, which is what I currently have, and use that to input drums. I'm not a great drummer. I'm not even good. I've literally just been fiddling around with it, but I'm hoping that as I improve, which will probably take many years, I can use this drum set until I either expand to a real one or get a place to where I can even use a real one. I don't know, but either way, having this run into MIDI is great for me, maybe to, if you could say, tab out parts. I'm a guitar player, so I don't even know what terminology you would use for a drummer that is writing drums, but that's basically what I'm saying, is if there's a drum part in my head I want to get out, I can come over here and attempt to play it or attempt to kind of get the structure right, and that would help me know what to then input in MIDI in case I'm a crappy drummer, which, as you can tell, that's relatively apparent. So that's the benefit, I think, with having an eDrums kit and then just using virtual software, because if you cannot physically play what you're trying to write, which in the case of what I'm writing is almost 100% the case, you can then kind of scratch ideas out on an eDrum kit and just make sure they're relatively realistic, and then you can either quantize whatever you need to do in MIDI, and there you go. You've got your drum part, and then you've got a drum part that makes sense if you end up having a real drummer that wants to play your parts. So that's a benefit. But yeah, that's the TD1K. Another budget option, but it's small and it's portable, so if I ever needed to move it anywhere, it's not too hard to do. So that's a great benefit. Not much else to the rest of this room, really. There's a little fireplace, which I could use for storytelling or whatever. I'm actually planning on implementing that into the Video Games to Help Me video, but we'll see what happens there. And then we just got a little chill couch, and that is straight out of the 90s. I love it. So, and then this is the whole room from left to right. This is literally right when you walk in. It's on the bottom floor. And then you can see the couch, the fireplace there. There's the drum kit. I've got a mic set up for vocals and whatnot. And then the desk. And that's basically it. Like I said, it's about 18 feet by 13 and a half feet. So it's definitely got some potential. There's some reverb that I probably want to get rid of whenever I start doing sound treatment. But again, all this stuff is probably going to take a while. But there's definitely a lot of potential, and I'm happy that I even get to use the space I have. So we'll see what happens in the future. But for now, I'm going to walk over here like an idiot, take a knee with y'all, and tell y'all to have a good night, and show off the fact that I'm really excited with what this can do. So for now, I will see you all later. Bye bye.